Hi guys, this is Vineet, and in today's video we will take you through SQL Server Integration Services tutorials. Okay, let's move ahead. Before we proceed ahead, there are some points to remember while watching this video. Please watch this video till the end to gain better clarity of the concept. And if it's possible for you, please watch this video twice. Perform any exercises in your lab and test environments only. Do not touch any production environment or production databases. We would like to know your thoughts regarding our video, so please share your comments, any suggestions you have, any requests you have, or maybe you can share your day-to-day experiences with SQL Server. Maybe you can mention if my videos have somewhere helped you in daily SQL scenarios you have come across. So do share your comments. We eagerly wait for them, and we love to read them. Now, guys, I've curated some playlists for you to watch. All the links are available in the video description area of this video. So I have 6 major playlists. First one is the SQL Server Database Design list having 59 videos, SQL Server Tables playlist having 16 videos, Business Continuity playlist having 50 videos, SQL Server Indexing having 10 videos at present, SQL Server Performance Tuning having 18 videos. Content is increasing in this performance tuning category, so stay in tune. The 6th playlist is SQL Server Integration Services playlist, which is having 12 videos at present, and in total I have 165 videos present on my channel, and these number of videos is growing at a constant pace. So guys, be a part of this journey. If you are new to this channel and have not already subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and immediately subscribe to this channel. There is a subscribe button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos. Now, apart from this, I have a channel page which you can locate at youtube.com/@SQL Talks by Vineet. Link is given in description as well. So when you go to my channel page, you can subscribe from there as well. Apart from that, what you will find on my channel page is a playlist specially curated for you. And apart from that, all these mentioned 6 playlists are also there. And also you will find a video section where you will see the trending videos on my channel. Now let's come back to a topic, which is SQL Server Integration Services tutorials. So guys, this will be a practical session where we will take you through creation of the integration services project, and finally basically what we will cover is we will cover the tutorial on how to create an ETL package basically, and how you can deploy that package with SSIS. We will cover that out. So maybe this will be a multi-part series. I don't know if I will be able to cover it in a single video. So this will be a multiple part series. So it's very essential that you subscribe to this channel immediately so that you can get timely notifications regarding my new video for this series. So do go ahead and subscribe. There's a subscribe button below this video. Now let me take you to notes. So today's topic is integration services tutorials. So what we will cover here, so we will cover how to create an ETL package. Alright, and finally we will cover how you can deploy these ETL packages or any other packages with SSIS. So these 2 main topics will be the part of this video series. So let's move ahead. So let's cover the topic how to create an ETL package. Let's make it a topic by making it bolder. Now in this tutorial we will show you how to use the SSIS designer in the Microsoft SQL Server Integration Services package. So we will cover, basically we will tell you how to use the SSIS designer to create integration services package. Alright, now the package that you create takes data from a flat file. So let me tell you about the package which we will create. So the package that you will create will take data from a flat file. Okay, and then what it does is it then reformats that data and then inserts that reformatted data into the fact table. We will discuss more on that, which table it will be. After that, after you will create that package which will take data from a flat file, reformats the data, and that inserts the reformatted data into a fact table. What we will do, we will expand the package. We will then expand the package to demonstrate various other functions like looping. We will show you package configuration, and we will talk about logging. Not talk, we will demonstrate logging in fact, and we will show you how you can handle the error flow. Now this tutorial will need some sample data, right? We will install some sample data. We will let you know which sample data to be installed for this tutorial. Now let's come to another topic. So everybody knows what is SQL Server Integration Services by now, if you have watched my previous videos, or SSIS. If not, if you don't have idea, let me cover it briefly over here. So let me cover it. So SSIS, which stands for the SQL Server Integration Services, it is basically a platform for building high performance data integration solutions. Alright, which includes extraction and then transformation and loading, and load basically the ETL. This is ETL, the complete process. The extraction transformation load also refers to as the ETL. So the SQL Server integration helps us in building the ETL, the SSIS packages for data warehousing. So this is a ETL is a data warehousing concept basically. So, and SQL Server Integration Services helps us in building packages for data warehousing. Alright. The second point is it includes the graphical tools. Alright, and wizards as well, I would say, for building and debugging the packages. So we are talking about the SSIS design interface. So it helps us in building and debugging the packages. Alright, and it helps us in creating a tasks for performing workflow functions. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, so guys, so this SQL Server integration includes the graphical tools for building and debugging the packages, and it also contains tasks for performing workflow functions. Example, we can say FTP operations we can perform via various tasks. We can execute certain SQL statements, right? And we can also send email messages. We have various tasks for these categories, whatever task we need to perform, we have a task for that in the SQL Server design interface. And we also have data sources and destinations as a part of data flow for extracting and loading data. Alright, and apart from that, we have transformations as well available for basically cleaning and aggregating, merging and copying data. We have transformations for this, and it also has a management database, which is SSIS DB is the database for SQL Server Integration Services, and this database is used for administration of packages. So it is used for administering the packages, package execution basically. So all the packages are stored in the SSIS database, and execution can take place from there. Execution and storage, I would say. It also includes the APIs or application programming interface for programming the integration services object model. So integration services has its own object model, and we can program integration services using the APIs provided by this object model. So we will talk more about that later, but for now let's move ahead. So what you will learn in this tutorial basically is, so the best way I would say to become acquainted with new tools, controls and features available in the Microsoft Server Integration Services is to use them. Alright, so basically this tutorial will help you or takes you through SSIS Designer to create an ETL package that includes looping, configuration, error flow logic and logging. So we will cover that. Alright, so we have some prerequisites that are required for this tutorial. Let's talk about them. So basically, first of all, this tutorial is intended for the users that are familiar with the fundamental database operations. So you should know fundamental database operations. At least you should be familiar with that. Alright, if you are new to integration services, that is fine, but yeah, you should know basic database stuff like running the select command and all. Now in order to run this tutorial, you need following components installed on your system. So we must have SQL Server Integration Services installed. So you may watch out one of my previous videos which showed you how you can install integration services. Alright, so follow that video to install the integration services. Apart from that, you need a database which is known as Adventure Works DW. So the database name is Adventure Works DW 2022. So we do have this AdventureWorks 2022 database, but we don't have AdventureWorks DW 2022 database. So let me download it from the Microsoft website. Let's see. So in the search pane, what you can do, you can type AdventureWorks 2000. Maybe you can type the download, you can say. So this will take you to the Microsoft page. So you got the first link, right? This is the link where AdventureWorks sample databases are there. We need a DW database link. So you see under data warehouse we have this backup file AdventureWorks DW 2022 back. So download this file. Click on that file. It will take you to, it will download this file. So once this file gets downloaded, we will restore this backup. Alright, so we have downloaded the AdventureWorks Data Warehouse 2022 backup file. Now let's try to invoke SQL Server and restore this database backup file on my database server. Waiting for SQL Server to launch. Alright, SQL Server is launched now, and let's connect to a default instance of the database. So guys, let me show you. I already have the other database, which is AdventureWorks 2022, but I don't have AdventureWorks DW 2022. So let me go ahead and right click on the databases. There's a restore database section. So let's go to that. So it will open up restore database dialog box, and I need to select device option, and I need to select the file and add the file from which we want to restore the backup. So your backup should be in this location, the backup folder. So let me quickly go ahead and move the file from the downloads folder. So let's cut this file out of here. So cut this file, and if we go to C drive and program files, Microsoft SQL Server and MS SQL 16, MS SQL Server, MS SQL folder. Under that we have a backup folder. So we can paste this backup over here, backup file over here. So the file is pasted over here. Now if we go back there, we just change the folder, we will see our file will be there. So where do we have our file? You see it here. So this is our file, AdventureWorks DW 2022 backup file. This is the one. So select OK and click on OK. It will give you the details of what this database file, backup file has. So it has a full database backup of AdventureWorks DW database, and it will give you details like when the database was taken. So it was taken on 23rd of May 2023. Now let's restore this database quickly. Click on OK. It will restore the database. So you got the message, database AdventureWorks DW 2022 restored successfully. Now click on OK, and this database is here now. So we will in this tutorial we will be working with this particular database. Alright, so I hope you have installed this database. Now what we need is we need sample data files. Now we have installed this so we have installed this AdventureWorks DW 2022 DW database. Now what we need is we need sample data files. Now the sample data is included with the okay. Now let me go ahead and download this. We need integration services tutorial file. So what you can do here is you can type it here, integration services tutorial files. Alright, if you click there, so let me give you the direct link to download that. Instead, let me show you how you can download the integration services. So you need to type in the link microsoft.com. You can put slash, and after that download you can type, and after download it's details.aspx, and put a question mark, put id equals 56827 is the id. So when you press enter on that, so you get the link, download SSIS tutorial files from official Microsoft website. Alright, so these are the SSIS tutorial files which you can download. Right, you can note down this link or open this particular link, and these contain sample files and lesson packages for the tutorials in the SQL Server Integration Services whatever documentation. Let's download them. Okay, so it contains two zips. One is for creating a simple ETL package, and one is for deploying the packages, zip. I would say download both of them. So these are being downloaded. I hope so both of them are downloaded, but not sure on that. So let's see. So we have downloaded deploying packages, but not the other one. I'm not sure about. So check the downloads folder to see. So it has downloaded only deploying packages, not the other one. So let's refresh this page. and if we click on the download again, let's select this one. So we have downloaded the other zip, now download the first one. So it has now downloaded the other file as well. So we have both the zip files, deploying packages and creating a simple ETL package. Alright, so our download work is done. Sample data files are downloaded. Let's go back to notes. Alright, and most of the files in the zip file are read only. So if we take a look at this files, most of these files are read only. So if we talk about, these are packages file DTSX. If we look at the properties, these are read only files if you see over here. Alright, in order to prevent the unintended changes, these are marked as read only. And basically if you want to write output to a file, or if you want to change the file, you may need to turn off the read only attribute for this file properties. Now this tutorial assumes that this particular tutorial assumes that your package files are stored in a following location. So let me write that location down. So it should be in program files, Microsoft. So this is the location where your packages file will be there. SQL Server, and under that 100 samples. Then we have integration services folder, and under that let's go to this location to see if we are able to access this location. Otherwise we need to create one. So if we go to this location, let's see if we are able to. So this location does not exist. So what we need to do is we need to create that location. So let me type in the complete location. So basically why we are creating this location is because this sample package is assume that data is stored in the following location. So that's why I'm creating this location while extracting the. So yeah, this will be the location where you should be extracting files to. Alright, so maybe we can say that up till this point this should be the location for extraction of files. So what we will do, we will extract this file. So create a simple ETL package. Let's select extract all, and we can type in that location, copy and paste that location, whatever I've mentioned to you. So now this location is there. C program file Microsoft SQL Server 100 samples integration services, and under the tutorial folder these files will get extracted. So let's click on extract. So it is saying that this path is not valid, but yeah, we want to extract the files there. So let's go on and create that path then. So let's go part by part. So we have Microsoft SQL Server. Let's see if we have the 100 folder under that. We don't have 100 folder under this. So let's create a 100 folder. Alright, and under that we need to create a samples folder. Let's create a samples folder. Under samples we need to create the integration services folder. Under integration services we can create tutorials folder. Tutorial folder actually. Now the path is there. We should be able to extract a file. So this path is valid, and yeah, we can extract the files. Yeah, we are providing the administrative privileges to create a folder under that. So under tutorial now we have creating a simple ETL package which has the package files. Alright, so I hope you have done this now. Alright, if not, please skip back the video and watch it out, how to download and install the sample files. Alright, so sample file installation is done. So make sure that you are extracting the package in this particular location. Otherwise, if you are extracting the package to a different location, you need to make changes in the multiple places in the sample packages. Okay guys, let's talk about what all items we will cover in this tutorial, or practicals that will be practicals. Items covered in this tutorial will be: so first item would be, we will create a project and basic package with SSIS. Second thing is, we will add the looping with SSIS. Third thing is, we will add logging. Let me take this topic to next page altogether. So we will add logging with SSIS. Then we will add error flow redirection with SSIS. Okay, then the next item we will cover in practical is, we will add SSIS package configurations for the package deployment model. The last item that we will be covering is, we will be using parameters with the project deployment model in SSIS. So these are all the practicals that we will be covering in our video series. So let's move on to the topic, which is create a project and basic package with SSIS. Let's see what's inside that. So what we will do in this practical is, we will create a simple extract, transform, and load, or in other words, an ETL package. Now this package will extract data from a single flat source file. Alright, it will transform that data using two lookup transformations that we will show you. And writes the transformed data to a copy of fact currency rate table, fact table. This is already existing in the AdventureWorks DW 2022 database. So the table name is fact current rate. We will create a duplicate table of this, in which we will store the transformed data. So what we will learn in this lesson, we will learn how to create new packages, add and configure. We will learn on basically how to, what we will learn how to create new packages. In addition, what we will learn how to add and configure data source and destination connections. Alright, and we will also learn how to work with new control flow and data flow compo nonce. Alright. So before we create a package, we need to understand the formatting used in both the source and the destination. Once we understand that, then we are ready to define the transformations which are necessary to map the source data to the destination. So in addition to installing the in order to install integration services, you need to install Visual Studio. Along with that, you need to install Microsoft SQL Server data tools. You can find one of my videos in the integration services playlist where I've shown you how you can install SQL Server Integration Services or Visual Studio along with the SQL Server data tools. So for installation, please check out that video. It's in the SQL Server Integration Services playlist, and the link for that playlist is given in the video description area. And we have already downloaded the integration services tutorial file, which are present over here in this folder. Creating a simple ETL package, all the files are there, or sample data is there, right? So these are text file, which is a sample data. It has some currency files for various countries and some sample currency data. We will see how to use that. And we have also installed the AdventureWorks DW 2022 database a few minutes back. So this one is the database that we will be using. Now let's start with the tutorial. So first, what we will do, we will take a look at the source data, right? So for this tutorial, we will be using this file, sample currency data txt. So for this tutorial, the source data is a set of historical currency data in a flat file named sample currency data.txt. So this file contains the historical currency data, right? Alright, now this source data has, I would say, 4 columns it has, right? The average rate of the currency is one of the columns, a currency key, which may be this, and a date key, right? And the end of date rate is there. So this file is somehow little different looking, I don't know, but yeah, the first column is the okay. So yeah, it has 4 columns in fact. So the first column is the average rate of the currency, right? And the second is the currency key, third one is the date key, and the last one is the end of day rate. What was the end of day rate? Alright, so this is the average rate and this is the end of day rate for that particular currency on a particular date. Alright, so we have checked the sample data for now. Now this is a flat file, right? When working with a flat file source data, it is important to understand how the flat file connection manager interprets the flat file data. So in order to read the flat files, we use the flat file connection manager, right? And we need to understand that how that flat file connection manager interprets the flat file data. Now if the flat file source is Unicode, the flat file connection manager defines all column as DTWSTR with a default column width of 50. And now if the flat file is ANSI encoded, columns are defined as DTSTR with a default column width of 50. So Notepad doesn't show you the actual encoding of the text file. So if you open the same file with, I don't have Notepad++ installed here, which basically tells the encoding. So maybe if we open the same file with Word, maybe if we do a file open, go to browse and give it that location for sample data. Alright, and let me try to open that txt file. So we have this one, right? If you open it with Word, so let's see if we get the encoding used here. No, it also doesn't tell the encoding of the file here, right? So let's close it. So basically, I've defined you. That is not very much important, but yeah. Let's go ahead. So basically, we need to change these default types to make string column types more applicable for our data. We need to look at the data type of the destination and then choose a type within the flat file connection manager. Alright, so let's move ahead. We have just taken a look at that flat file. What type of data does it contain, right? So it contains some currency data, the average rate and the end of the day rate of the currency at a particular date. Now let's look at the destination data. So in order to take a look at the destination data, the destination for the source data is a copy of fact currency rate fact table in AdventureWorks TW database. So let's go there. So if we expand that and expand the table section, let's check out the table, which is fact currency rate is the table. So the destination for the source data is a copy of this fact table. So if we take a look at this table structure, if we select top 1000 rows, or maybe let's close it and let's instead open the design view for this table. So if you take a look at this table design, it has 4 columns. So first one is the currency key, alright, which we can ignore, and apart from that we have date key, the average rate, the end of date rate. Okay, let me repeat that. So what all columns do we have? We have average rate, we have end of day rate, we have date key, and we have currency key. Alright, so these 4 are the columns, and the data type are listed against each column. So currency key is of integer data type, alright, and it's a foreign key. So if we click here and go to the column properties, so currency key is a basically foreign key from mother table, and date key is also a foreign key over here. Average rate is the float type, and the end of rate, date rate, day rate is also float type. So the lookup table for these currency key and date key foreign keys are dim currency and dim date column. So we have another table. So these columns are coming out of that dim date and dim currency columns. These 2 items are coming from there, and currency key is the primary key in the dim currency table, and date key is the primary key in the dim date column. Alright, so these are basically lookup columns, which refers to the dim tables, dim currency and dim date. So that is the destination data basically we have taken a look at. Now we need to map the source data to the destination. So we have checked the source data and the destination data. So our analysis of the source and destination data formats indicates that lookups are necessary for the currency key and date key values. The transformations that perform these lookups get those values by using the alternate keys from dim currency and dim date dimension tables. So now let's create a structure for that flat file column. Let's create a mapping here. So let's insert a table over here and we will create a mapping. So let's take a 5 by 4 column. So the first column will be flat file column and the table name, the column name and the data type. Alright, so let's talk about column 1 here, column 0 here, so which is the first column in the notepad file. So first column here is, if you take a look at, so first column is this average rate of currency, but yeah, let's take them. So the table name will be fact currency rate. This is destination table, and the column is the average rate, which is the first column. So this is the table. So the flat file column 0 maps to which column in a table. So it is mapping to average rate column of the table. Alright. So I'm creating a mapping table out here. So column 0, which is the first column, is referring to fact currency rate table, and to the average rate column in that fact currency rate table, and data type of that table is float, right? So yeah, we can keep it as float. Now let's talk about column 2, which is the index value of 1, so which is the currency key basically. So it is mapping to dim currency table, and we are referring to it as instead of the same column name, we are using a different column name. Instead of currency key, we are using currency alternate key. Alright, and we are taking this as nchar 3 value, although in the SQL Server it is defined as integer type, but we are taking nchar 3. Alright, because it's not an integer type over here, it's USD. We are taking nchar 3. Now let's take the next column in a table, which is the date. So we will take it as dim date, referring to the table name dim date, and which column it is referring to in dim date, full date alternate key. So let's check out the structure of this dim currency and dim date table quickly. So if we take the structure of this table and the dim currency table as well, so we have just defined it here, dim date, full date alternate key. So we take a look at the dim date table over here. So it is referring to this column, full date alternate key. Alright, and similarly for currency, which was second, the currency alternate key column comes from this currency table, currency alternate key. Alright, it has an nchar type 3, so we have taken it from there. And now this has full date alternate key is of date type, so we will take date. Alright, and let's go to the last column, which is the fourth column in a file. So we have taken average rate, we have taken the currency, we have taken dim date, and last is the currency rate at the end of the day. So we are taking the fact currency rate column from this table, this one. and we are mapping it to end of day rate in this particular table, the fact currency rate table. So we are mapping the fourth column to fact currency rate table end of day rate column. Alright, and this will be a float data type. Alright, so this is how mappings are created. The structure of the table is same as the source file. Now let's go through some of the tasks of this particular activity. So mapping table we have created. Now we will create a new integration services project. Let's see, guys. Okay, now let's create a new integration services project. Alright, now the first step in creating a package in integration services is to create an integration services project. Now the example project includes templates for the data sources, data source views, and packages that make up the data transformation solutions. Let me go through it again. So the first step in creating an integration services package is to create an integration services project. So that is one thing. Now this example project includes templates for the data sources, data source views, and packages that make up the data transformation solution. Now the packages that we create in this integration services tutorial interpret the values of locale sensitive data, and if our computer is not configured to use the regional option United States, we should do so. So all of this currency here is USD currency, so it's basically locale based. So it's a locale sensitive data US, and if our regional options are not configured like so, we need to set additional properties in the package, right? Or maybe we can, if you want, you can change the locale to US through the regional properties. For the time being, let me change my so let's see what regional option is configured. So if you go to regional settings over here, let's see what are the options. So let set regional format if we open. So it is set to English India. So current format is English United States, which is okay, although country is India. But yeah, the locale required is current format, which is required is English United States, although it is recommended English India. But for this tutorial we need English United States. So as far as this is set to English United States, we are okay. Alright, let's move ahead and create a new integration services project. Now we need to open Visual Studio for that. So let's open up Visual Studio. We create integration services projects inside Visual Studio. So guys, if you have not already subscribed by now, please subscribe and immediately, because this will be a multi-part series. Maybe more than 10 videos or more than 20 videos will be there, because there are so many practicals in this tutorial. So alright, we are under the Visual Studio and we need to create a new project basically. Now we need to create a new integration services project. So click on that and click on next, It will give us a new project dialog box where okay, so we have already selected the integration services project. Now we need to provide the name. Now let's change the name to default name to SSIS tutorial. I'm changing it to. Alright. So in order for solution and project to use the same directory name, so we can keep this checkbox checked. Place solution and project in the same directory. We are not creating a separate directory for a solution and project separately. Now we are accepting the default location, which is Vineet source repos, which is the repository location of the SSIS package. So alright, project will be created in this folder. It is saying C users Vineet source repos SSIS tutorial. So these settings look okay. Now click on OK or click on the create button. So once you click on the create button, it will create an empty package. So it's creating a project right now. So it will open up a Visual Studio screen. So let's close this getting started window. If you see, it has created package.dtsx over here, and it's a blank package at the moment. So it's an empty package.dtsx, and it's added to our project under the SSIS package folder. We have this package, right? And the project name is SSIS tutorial, which is present over here. Now we need to we want to rename this package.dtsx package. So we need to right click on it, and we are selecting rename, and we are renaming it to lesson1.dtsx. So let's change it quickly. Alright guys, so we have renamed the package name from package.dtsx to lesson1.dtsx. So we are done with this task, and now let's go to next task, where we are adding and configuring a flat file connection manager. So let's talk about, so guys, this is done. Give me a few minutes guys. So create a new integration services project is done. Now the next step is to add and configure a flat file connection manager. This is the next step. Alright, so let's do that. So let me mark it as steps. So step 1 is this, step 2 is this. So we are on step 2 right now. Let's go inside Visual Studio. What we will do, we will add and configure a flat file connection manager, and in this task we will add a flat file connection manager to the package that we have just created. And a flat file connection manager basically enables a package to extract data from the flat file, and using the flat file connection manager we can specify the file name and location, and the locale and the code page, and the file format, including column delimiters to apply when the package extracts the data from the flat file. So these are all the things we configure while using the flat file connection manager. And in addition, we can also manually specify the data type for the individual columns, or use the suggested column type dialog box to automatically map the columns of the extracted data to the integration services data type. So let's go through this theory which I have just discussed. So let's talk about the flat file connection manager here. All right. So it basically enables a package to extract data from flat files, right? We can specify, so by using the flat file connection manager, we can specify that file name and location. We specify these things. We specify the file name and location. We specify the locale and the code page, and we specify the file format. Um, we specify the column delimiters, right? We specify these things to apply when the package extracts data from the flat file. And in addition to this, we can manually specify the data mapping. So data types in case suggested data types are not looking okay to us. Alright guys, now we must create a new flat file connection manager for each file format we are working with. And because this tutorial extract data from multiple flat files that all have the same data format, so whatever files we are extracting data from have the same file format, but in case your flat files are using different formats, then you need to create a connector for each one of them, right? But in this tutorial we are extracting data from multiple flat files, and all these files have the same data format. We only need to add and configure one flat file connection manager for this particular tutorial. Now in this step we will configure the properties, following properties in the flat file connection manager. We will configure the column types. So in this step we will configure the column types. Alright, and since our flat file, if we take a look at, does not have any column name, it just have the data, right? So column names are not there in the flat file. So the flat file connection manager creates the default column names, and if these default column names are not useful for identifying what each column represents, so whenever the column names are not present in a file, the flat file connection manager by default assigns the name to these columns. And if these column names are generally not meaningful, right, we need to change the default name at that time. So change the default names to names that match the fact table into which flat file data is to be loaded. So earlier we created a mapping, right? So these are the column names, right, we have mentioned. For the destination tables we have mentioned this column names. So we will specify that column names. So we will change the default names given by the flat file connection manager to the names that match the fact table into which the flat data file is being loaded. Now let's talk about the data mappings. So the data type mappings that you specify for the flat file connection manager are used by all flat file data source components that reference this connection manager. You can either manually map the data types by using the flat file connection manager, or you can use the suggested column type dialog box. In this task we view the mapping suggested in the suggested column types dialog box and then manually create the necessary mappings in the Flat File Connection Manager Editor dialog box. So we will see in a few minutes. So look, our locale is English United States, so that is okay. So the Flat File Connection Manager provides the locale information as well about the data file. If your computer is not configured to use the regional option English United States, then you must set additional properties in the Flat File Connection Manager Editor dialog box. But yeah, our computer is set to English United States, so we are fine. Now let me take you through our tutorial where we will add a Flat File Connection Manager to the SSIS package. Now in the Solution Explorer, which is coming on the right hand side, right click on the Connections Manager. So we see Connections Manager category over here. We need to right click on it and select a new connection manager. So it will open up a Add SSIS Connection Manager dialog box, which is this one. Let me see if I can expand it, give you a better view. So this is the Add SSIS Connection Manager dialog box, and in this we need to select a flat file for the flat file connector and then click on the Add button. So this is Flat File is a connection manager for flat files. Now let's click on Add. So once you click on the Add button, it will open up a Flat File Connection Manager Editor dialog box. So we need to enter the connection manager name. So for this tutorial we are mentioning it as, give me a minute guys. Okay guys, let's continue. Let's give the connection manager name over here. So for this tutorial we are mentioning the name as sample flat file source data. We are referring the name to this, and then we need to click on the browse button for the file name, and we need to locate that file, which is this. So let me copy and paste that path. So let's paste this path over here. So this path has this file sample currency data.txt, and let's click on the open button. Alright, now we have located the sample currency data.txt file and clicked on the open button. So it is giving the locale of the file, which is English United States, which is okay. Now clear the column names. So there's a checkbox column names in the first data row, but our file, if we take a look at, does not have the column names in the first data row, right? So we should uncheck this box. We have just unchecked this box, right? Now let's set some locale sensitive properties. So in the Flat File Connection Manager Editor dialog box, click on the General tab. We are on the General tab only. There's a locale section. So locale is set to English United States, and the code page is set to 1252 ANSI Latin 1, right? So this is what is required, and this is by default the locale of that particular file, right? So we don't need to make any changes over here. Now we will rename some columns in the Flat File Connection Manager. So there's an advanced option on the left hand side. Click on that option. So these are the 4 columns from the file. So column 0, we are changing the name. These are not meaningful names of the column, so we are changing the name. So change the name of the column 0 to average rate, which is basically equivalent to the name here, right? Average rate. Column 1 is the currency ID. We are mentioning it as currency ID. So currency ID is also a column. Currency ID. Okay. So yeah, we are taking our own name over here, although it's not mentioned over here. But yeah, we are taking the column name in the Visual Studio as currency ID for column 2. Column second we are taking as the currency date. This is the third column we are taking. Let's see if this column exists in the destination table. So currency date is also not there, right? But yeah, we are taking it as currency date. In the fourth column we are specifying as end of day rate, right? So all the four columns we have changed the name accordingly as per our liking. Alright, now this is done, and next step is to remap column data types. So we need to do remapping of column data types. Let me take you through that. So by default, if we take a look at our four of the columns, so they are set to data type string dt string, right, with then column width of 50. All the four columns have the same data type if you take a look here, right. Now in the flat file connection manager editor, select the suggested types. So if you select one of the columns and click on the suggested types, right, integration services automatically suggest appropriate data types based on the first 200 rows of data. You can also change the suggestions options to sample more or less data, so we can specify the sampling rate here to determine the data type. So by default it checks the first 200 rows. To specify the default data type for integer or boolean data, or to add spaces as padding to string columns. So second option is suggest the smallest integer data type, suggest the smallest real data type. So and third option is identify boolean column using the following values: true, false. If the values are true, false, it will identify that data type as boolean type, and it also has an option to add spaces as padding to string columns. So we are not using that for now. Make no changes to the options in the suggested column types dialog box and select OK. To have the integration services suggest data types for columns. So for average it has now suggested float DTR4, currency it has still string, currency date it has specified as date, for end of day it has specified float. So it has changed the data type for all the four columns, right. So this section basically returns you to the advanced pane of the flat file connection manager at a dialog box, where you can view the column data type suggested by the integration services and the data type column. We have changed, we can see that changes have been made. Now alternatively, if we cancel over there in the suggested types, if we have clicked the cancel button, these modifications have not been done. So if we click the cancel button, no suggestions are made to the column metadata, and a default string ttr data type will be used. Alright, so we had clicked on OK button, so now the data types are changed for all the four columns. Now in this tutorial, basically the integration services suggests the data type shown in the we have just shown you. So the if we talk about average, suggested type is now float DTR4, right. And if we talk about this, it is still at string ddstr. The currency rate is at date dd underscore date. The fourth column is changed to float ddr4, right. So these are the current data types, but what are the required data types? The required data types are mentioned in this table. It is required float and cal3 date and float, right. These are the required data type for the destination, right. So far we see that we have specified the automated suggestion has specified this. So for average rate it has specified float. If we take a look at our table, the mapping table, average rate is the destination is float. Now let's take a look at another column. The currency ID is the string type. Let's take a look there in the table. So dim currency is NCAR type. ncal3 type in the destination. Dim date is of date type over here. Let's check it over there. It's of date type, so it's same almost. The fourth is a float data type, end of day rate, and in the design view, in the table mapping table, it's also float type. So it's all almost somewhat similar, right? Now the data type suggested for the currency ID column, if we take a look at currency ID column, is incompatible. So the currency ID column data type is string, and it is incompatible with the ncat data type 3 in the destination. So these data is incompatible because the data type of currency alternate key is ncat3, right? Currency ID must be changed from string DTSTR to Unicode string DTWSTR. So ncar basically accepts the Unicode character, so this string does not give you the capability to accept Unicode character. So we need to use the DTSR1 for the Unicode. Let's see if we get that option over here. I don't see it over here. So this is the one, Unicode string. We need to change it to, and it changes to DTWSTR. So that is the required data type, so that it can easily map to this particular column, which is ncal3. Ncar is basically used in SQL to store the Unicode data characters. Now we are fine, and the mapping is now fine. In addition, the field full date alternate key is defined as the date data type. So if we take a look at here, full date alternate key, it is defined as the date data type over here, right? So for the type currency date, it needs to be changed to DT date. So it's already changed to DT date. Okay, so it should be changed from DT date to database date. So for database date, we have another data type choice. So database date type should be selected like this. There's a difference between database date and simple date. We will talk about it later. For now, just change it to database date. Now in the list, select the currency ID column, right? And in the property pane, change the data type of the column currency ID from string to DTWSTR. We have already done that, so right? In the property pane, change the data type of the column currency date. We have already done that, so DTDB date. So we have made changes to these two columns. For currency ID, we have changed it to Unicode string. For currency date, we have changed it to database date. Alright, and let's click on OK after that. So we are done with step 2. So a flat file connection manager object appears here. We have created a connection object. So guys, so far in this video we are just covering these two steps. We have recorded almost like 1 hour 14 minutes of video. In our next video on this series, we will cover the next topic. Let me add that topic. So next topic would be, so first step 2 is done. Now we will, in next video we will cover the step 3, which is add and configure an OLEDB connection manager for connecting to the databases. So in our next video series, we will add and configure an OLEDB connection. So guys, stay in tune. Please subscribe immediately if you have not already subscribed. There's a subscribe button below this video. Click on that subscribe button. It will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos, and get the notifications for this video series as well. So in order to get the notification, you need to be subscribed and notifications should be turned on, right? So guys, I hope all the new subscribers who have not yet subscribed have already subscribed to this channel by now. It is very essential. And there are many more videos coming on regarding this tutorial series. Must not be less than 20 to 25 videos should be there. So yeah, we will cover the step 3, add and configure an OLEDB connection manager, in our next video. So guys, I hope you like this video. If you really like this video, please click on the like button below this video. And if you are new to this channel, or if you have not already subscribed, please click on the subscribe button below this video, and it will give you a bell icon. Click on that bell icon, select all notifications to get notifications regarding all my future videos. Also, please share your comments with us, any suggestions, any requirements, any requests for specific videos, any day-to-day scenarios with SQL Server that we would like to share, any notes indicating any comments indicating that my videos helped you in any of the day-to-day scenarios. Do mention about that. We eagerly wait for your comments and would love to read your comments once you post them. And also guys, if you have a good network of friends, please share these videos with your friends as well. There's a share option in YouTube through which you can share the videos with your friends. And also, if you have a huge network of friends, or even if you have a small network of friends, please ask them to join my channel if they work in SQL Server domain, as I'm creating videos that are very useful for them, that will be very useful for them if they go through all the videos. So ask them to subscribe to my channel. I thank you so much for your time on this video today, and you have a wonderful day ahead, guys. Thank you.